Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to do episode 2. And I thought for today's episode, for the second one in a row, today we would discuss over the differences between I can and I can't in any kind of situation, either if it's life or just personal. Before getting fully into that, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Y'all have been doing so well with that, so keep doing all of that, but let's get into it. So, let's start off with the kind of basic area of that. You're kind of thinking to yourself, what do you mean I can't? Well, a lot of the times people will be like, oh, I can't do this, or I can't figure out how to work this, or why can't I do this straight, or I can do this, but I don't know how I can't find the right kind of get my point there. But a lot of the times our brains kind of have a thinking process isn't part of the brain, but in our brains, when it comes to either we're trying to do a certain task or we are doing something, our brains kind of pick up something a little bit different. Like, all of us don't have the same ability to be like, oh, I could do all of the things, when there's some people out there that can't do it all. They can only do maybe a couple. And even this also goes to show, people, like, for example, people that have special needs or learning disabilities, but also people who are getting older, they kind of start to slowly just forget stuff. But, so just by remembering kind of the stuff that we are going to continue to be talking about, just, bear with me. So, let's start talking about the differences between I can and I can't. So, a few examples of that can be, so let's say life struggles look like with those two differences. Some people can be like, why can't I figure out how to fix a light bulb? Why can I not figure out the problem with this, or why can't I do this the correct step when I'm following the manual? There's some people, like, let's say if you're trying to fix something like very simple, but you are looking at the construction manual of that object and you are following each and every single step, but your brain process thinks that your brain kind of has a way to think about that for a minute. So the brain kind of processes a lot of that information, and so when you are trying to do that for somebody with a disability, it's like they kind of have a little bit of a hard time trying to understand things like that right away, other than just what it would be for a normal person who doesn't have any of it. So, whenever somebody who has a hard time learning, or a person that does know how to learn but they can't remember it off the bat, sometimes they will literally go, I can't do this. I'm sorry, but I just can't. Don't ever say I can't about yourself, ever, because what you're gonna do down the road is you're just gonna start, but don't say I can't to the point where it's just gonna stay in your head when someone asks you, hey, so-and-so, can you go into the storage unit and check to see if we have any of these supplies that are listed, that you tell them to try to find, but they say, I can't find where you're talking about. Do not say that. Do not say I can't, because those are the two words you cannot say in situations like that. Because before, that's just going to get logged into your head, and it's going to stay there. and you're not going to believe yourself right off the bat. But we also can ask questions about that too to a person and go, we can literally be like, hey, can you actually show me how to do this so that way I can learn it? And then they would always be happy to. Because, y'all, you see that difference a little bit? You see how when a person goes, why can't I figure this out too? Oh, I can figure this out now. I know how it's all done. Because what you just did in your brain was you either went up to a friend or a coworker or a parent or anyone near you and asked, hey, can you help me out figure this out or figure out how to do this so I'm not trying to mistaken it for things. But yeah, so really that just goes to show, even with things that are fixable related. Now we'll move on into more like mentally kind of situations with I can and I can't. So but also another thing here too is for some people, there's some people out there that have certain medical conditions or disabilities that they can't, either they have a hard time processing things, or it makes them not, like, they don't really know a lot about things. Let's say if you were to talk with them about something like, oh, have you heard about this movie called whatever, you say to them. Or, hey, did you hear about this documentary over here on ID? And they'd be like, what are you talking about? So kind of what happens there is their brains do not have that visualization process. So again, go back to square one and go, because like I said, in the brain, there's a lot of just like steps. And so when the brain tries to give them an image of what they're trying to relate to, it just doesn't come up for them. And so they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. I never have heard of that. But, I mean, there's just so much that you've got to help them out with. Like, slowly showing them little bit by little. And, also, the I cans with, this too is like, certain people can do things that they're able to. Like, some people can maybe either write a good chunk of sentences on paper, or somebody can actually pick up on what you're saying, just saying it either slower or making it easier to tell them something. Like, hey, so-and-so, can I show you how to do that exact thing, but doing it in slower steps? Now their brains will actually be able to basically understand, like, oh, this person wants to help me out so I can actually be successful. Then with the I can'ts, when someone's saying it normally to them, they don't process it right away. And even that's happened to me too in high school. So for example, like, it's kind of in that situation where I would be in class learning, and all of a sudden I can't understand something right off the bat from what just got taught. And so either I would go up to one of my teachers, or really I would go up to one of my teachers and ask, hey, on this part of the assignment or project, can you tell me again what it means, or just correct me if I'm wrong, kind of deal. So you see how I said that? So I always do that a lot. Even I did that a lot in high school, because, I didn't want to make sure I was going to fail and not put me for success. So just by learning steps like that, they really begin to help you out and really put you where you're supposed to be. Because if you're just saying, I can't understand this, or I can't do this, I can't, don't say that. Because again, when you say I can't, you're going to start believing in that, and you're just going to start using it as an excuse. When you say I can, means that needs to be the only two sentences that needs to be in your head during something. So even if you're trying your best at it, that's what matters. Because, like, our parents and everyone that's around us will always tell us that, is to give it your best until it gets hard on you. But also, something I will put it is, for my people who go to church but also are Christians, the verse that is 2 Corinthians 5:7, which is, for we walk by faith, not by sight. That means to split those two things down. When it says, for we, so I'll say the next part to that. When it says walk by faith, means we are walking in God's path where we're supposed to be. And that also means we are walking the right way we're supposed to be. We're not saying the I can'ts in that walk at all. When it says not by sight, meaning not what we see in front of us and not how we would think it's supposed to be. So, in that instance, it's not like it's kind of like the differences between this is how to do it, this is not how to do it. It's kind of like that when you say that in your head like a few times. But, so kind of just a key point with using the I'm talking fast too, so just hang in there. But definitely some just kind of like keynotes here to kind of remember about this is, don't say I can't, say I can. And always believe in I can. Even if you have to repeat a sentence in your head to say that. Like, I can do this, I can do that, I will do my best, and I can do my best. I will not say it the opposite way around. So this week, definitely have that in thought. And, y'all, like, for example, I have epilepsy, but that does not mean for me that I can't not live my life. Because I've lived for 19 years. Basically 19 and a half years. And there's not been a single point, there's not been one doubt in my life where I have said to myself, I can't live my life anymore. I can't do this anymore. It's too hard to fight. Y'all, I have fought my own war for 19 years. And each day is a war. And actually, this brings me to a point. Each day is a war for each and every single one of us, even if we're not disabled somehow. It's just trying to get through the day, getting through life, and stuff like that. And, you're not alone. You're never alone during that. And, man. And even people who are older and they are trying to get through their last years, they fight too. Just like all of us young people do. So, don't ever put yourself in a situation where you're just gonna be, like, in stress or just out of your mind thinking, why can I not do this? What is wrong with me? Don't do that, because you're gonna get yourself too stressed and you're just gonna not have it in you to actually do it. So, again, just kind of what I've been saying here is I'm just telling you the differences. I'm saying it in different scenarios of I can and I can't. Because some people will say those two things in their heads sometimes. And they don't realize how they're putting it into perspective. But also, you live your life throughout your last days. We just do. And we're here for a purpose in this life. Like, and even this would be good too, to even tell your friends this stuff too, or anyone that is going through a season of just doubt or stress or anything like that, or is having a hard time believing in themselves. Because you always should believe in yourself no matter what the cost is. And just stay humble in your own faith, because if you're not humble in yourself, then you are just going to be in a dark room for like at least a long time, because even the I can't is almost like if you were in a room where it was pitch black, no, like not my lights on, not like you have no light on, no nothing on, but being in like the I can't situation was like all lights are on, all opportunities are out. That's where you want to be. But also, something that also goes into next point is you can do hard things. You just have to put your mind to it. So for those of you saying that out there that you can't do it, think again. Because you can and you will. Try every single time. Even if it means having to literally do a lot in yourself. Even if it means pushing yourself to do it. Even if it means listening to something motivating and doing it. Or just practicing it, or just doing your very best till you can. Like, y'all, recently I have been job searching, and it's not easy for those of you that are in the job process as well. It's not easy to do that. So even for me, those times I've kind of had the I can'ts as well, but I'm still putting faith in myself. As a Christian though, I'm putting all faith in God, but also all faith in me. That I can. So repeat that. So don't repeat I can't, because again, it's going to get logged in there, because your brain's it's almost like a storage unit that you store stuff a little bit, but instead it sends all those thoughts into the brain to put it in there. So do not say that. So don't ever say, I can't do this. I can't live this. I can't survive myself. Don't do that. For real, don't do it. But say, I can do this. I can live this. I can do what I want to do. I can go to college and do whatever, or I can major in whatever I want. And also do not let people get to you. Do not. Because like I said like I put in a recent short, you can do what your heart feels. Like, y'all, let your heart feel how to feel, meaning let your heart be itself. Let it spread with joy, for goodness, Don't let your heart just shatter and break and be depressed and lonely, or just feel like you have to be in a basic hill of just, don't be in a situation where you're putting too less on yourself. Because at the end, my brain. At the end of the day, we want to come out of our shell. That's what we're supposed to do. Is even if it means taking small steps to get there. Like, y'all, for people with disabilities and stuff, we take it step by step to come out of our shell with things. Either if it's learning something, or we're trying to improve skills, we slowly try to come out of our shell. Because here's an example. Imagine this is your shell, right? But we're going to circle it like this. So this is your shell. So what happens is when it's closed like this, that is the darkness inside this. Like, look, man, you can't see anything in the right. Not that, but like that. That's kind of what that is. That's when you say I can't too much. Is you are going to be locked in, but you're also going to be, it's going to be very dark inside my fist. But now, what I'm about to do is the other opposite. But look, see how now there's a little bit more opening here? That's because you're starting to say, I can do this. I am fighting for my best. That's because you are doing what you were told. But then when you do it more and more, like that, see how bigger that just got? So y'all see how you can see how your I can'ts can turn into I can do it, because you will do it. So once again, as this series just kind of keeps coming, I keep thinking of ideas, or y'all put ideas in the comments that y'all might want to hear positivity wise, or just want to hear a little bit of motivation out of. That helps me out, because we need to slowly but surely put more motivation, more goodness out here, because I can't stand people who are just so negative, but also I can't stand our generation being not the no one can't stand our generation being so hateful and feel like we have to stay tight in our shells half the time just to live. But we also can spread our wings out. We can literally just go like this. We can just come straight out and live. We can feel free. We can feel at peace. We can just breathe for 5 minutes, a day, a year, 1,000, until it's our time. So really, you guys, as just things just progress, just make sure every day you tell yourself you can. Even if you're having a bad day, say you can, because if you say you can't on a bad day, well, you're not looking at the right spot. But when you say I can when you're supposed to, you'll feel pretty good. But even that also, if you feel like you're stressed out in that situation, but let's say you're at home or something and you're just chilling out, what you can do is you can listen to music, you can relax, breathe, meditate, go for a walk, go drive to maybe your favorite spot, or just do something you love to do, even if it's something simple. Because having a distraction like that helps calm the brain down, helps calm us down, because we can't just be living in circles. We can't just keep circling from I can't. We're just going to keep saying it, because it's just going to be this. It's going to go like that, back and forth. So, y'all, please be sure to be taking care of yourselves, and please make sure you are loving yourself for who you are. And I will definitely see some of you guys in the next episode. So, if y'all have ideas as well for future things that y'all might want to kind of give a little bit of a definition to, or just not a definition to, but if y'all want to hear stuff that's also motivating that you might want to be into, definitely put them in the comments below, because definitely that would be an idea to do for future episodes. So I love you guys so much, and have a amazing day. And you got this. Don't say you can't. I can.